Hello, everyone. My name is Pastor Magic, and this is the Blessed Stack, your place for a blessed Magic the Gathering experience. In this first video or pilot episode, if you will, I would love the opportunity to help new and existing Magic the Gathering players build a sealed deck for your local game store's next pre-release or sealed event. I believe that limited events like pre-release and draft are the best way for new players to experience the game for the first time and for older players to learn the new cards from the latest set. If you're new to Magic, you may or may not know that there are several different ways or formats to play Magic the Gathering. I think it's safe that for the majority of us, the Commander format was our first introduction to Magic. I've been playing Magic for a little over 2 years now, and I began playing Commander myself. It wasn't until about a year in that I went to my local game store's pre-release night during the Bloomborough set. And that set, lo and behold, would become my favorite set of all time. Limited gave Magic a new flavor for me. It was more competitive. It narrowed the pool of cards to just a few hundred. But what I liked about Limited the most was I felt that I could focus more on my opponent, talking with them, getting to know them, making them feel welcomed, and if they were a new player, teaching them the game. After all, the best part about Magic is the gathering. Before we get started, you may be wondering, why do I call myself Pastor Magic? Why should you listen to me at all? After all, I've only been playing for a limited amount of time. Well, my name is Jeffrey, and I'm a pastor and a Magic the Gathering player. And the Blessed Stack comes from the fact that it is truly a blessing to have a hobby like Magic the Gathering. I love Jesus, I love my family, I love people, and I love Magic. I want this channel to be a place of encouragement for new and seasoned players alike. This game has helped me to make new friends, it's helped me to learn a new hobby, and it's helped me overcome some issues of mental health like anxiety and depression. In this video, I'd like to walk you through not only how I build a sealed deck, but also offer encouragement for all players on how to keep the primary purpose of Magic in mind, the gathering. I am by no means a pro Magic player. I don't pretend to know everything, and I learn something new every time that I play. But again, Magic is so much more than the cards. It's so much more than the strategy. It's building friendships. It's having the opportunity to help people, and specifically in my case, to better my mental health with a great hobby like Magic the Gathering. We'll be using packs from the latest set, Edge of Eternities, to build our sealed deck. If you're not familiar with the cards from the new set, let me suggest some great resources for you. The first would be the professor's analysis of the new set over at Tellurian Community College. I'll put a link in the show notes below. If you love Magic, you most likely love the professor. He is a great resource for all players at all levels of the game. In his set review, the professor breaks down the set's mechanics, keywords, signpost uncommons, and bombs are really, really good cards you should keep an eye out for. Another great resource, especially when it comes to limited, is Nizahone Magic. Nizahone reviews each and every individual card in a new set over a series of videos, giving you in-depth analysis, strategies, and deck building tips. I'll link a video in his review of all the multicolored cards from Edge of Eternities in the show notes. With that said, let's rip some packs and begin building our sealed deck. So at your local game store's pre-release or other sealed event, you'll receive 6 packs, usually from the latest set to build your deck with. The idea is to build the best deck you can from those cards. Usually your deck will focus on a 2-color pair. Each set has what's called signpost uncommons built around that set's mechanics. That will point you in a particular direction. For example, in Edge of Eternities, the black-red color pair focuses on the void mechanic. The void mechanic says that if a non-land permanent left the battlefield this turn, or if a spell was warped this turn, something good happens. So, if you open a sealed pool with a lot of void synergy and the black-red signpost uncommon interceptor mechan, odds are you'll have a fairly decent black-red deck. An image like the one on the screen now is released with every new set and is a really helpful tool and something I download to my phone and refer to when building my sealed deck. So the first thing I like to do is I like to open all the packs and set aside the wrappers before I even begin to organize or even look at the cards that I pulled. This seems to be the fastest, most efficient way to be, but just because I do it this way doesn't mean that you should. If you're excited to see what cards you pulled and you want to look at individual cards or go ahead and start organizing them pack by pack, so be it. The way in which I build and organize a sealed deck is a mixture of techniques that I've learned from Gavin Verhey of Wizards of the Coast and, of course, the Professor. I encourage you to watch multiple trusted resources to build a deck and develop your own way and strategies using their suggestions. So after I open all the packs and throw away my wrappers, I begin to organize by color, creature, and spell. So I'll go from left to right in Wooburg order. So I have a Grav Kill here, which is an instance removal spell, and I'll put that with the black spells. I have a blue creature, artifact creature, so I'll put that with the blue creatures. White spell, green creature, red spell, so on and so forth. And then I'll have a third row down here that I have my colorless, multicolored, and any non-basic lands that I pull. So let's go ahead and let's get these organized. The other thing I like to do, and I did this off camera just to save time, is I like to organize by mana value each stack. So as you can see here with the black spells, I have them organized by mana value 1 through 4. Same thing with the creatures. I start with the lowest and just kind of work my way up. This begins to help me visualize my mana curve, and it also gives me time to look and see what cards I have, read them, and see what best color pair this deck should be built around. Ideally, in a sealed deck, you want 15 to 18 creatures, 5 to 8 other spells, and then 17 lands. So that's 23 creatures and spells, and then 17 lands for a total of 40 cards. You can play more than 40, but that's usually not recommended, as playing more than 40 tends to water down your draws and keeps you from getting the cards that you need the most. Of the creatures and spells that you play, you want the majority of them to be within the 2 to 3 mana slot on your curve. So if you were to lay out your deck by mana value, it would look like a nice, smooth curve. The other colors, they don't seem as strong as black and blue do to me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stack the rest of these up, and I'm going to focus in on blue and black here. So let's start with our removal spells. Definitely going to play Tragic Trajectory. Definitely play Depressurize. Definitely Vote Out and Grav Kill. And again, I'm laying these out now by their mana cost. That way I can begin to see what kind of curve I have. Definitely play Cryo Shatter, Atomic Atomizer. We'll do 2 Divert Disasters. We'll do our mental modulations. Consult the charts, or consult the star charts, I should say. And then we'll do the scan shit. So right now, just with spells, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We've got 12 spells that we could possibly play. But remember, the black-blue archetype is a control archetype. And so we may want more spells, and then beefier creatures at the end. So let's look at the creatures this time. I'm not huge on Mechan Shieldmate. We'll set that aside for now. I could definitely see us casting 2 or more spells per turn. So we'll go ahead and play both of those operatives. And I'm going to try to pronounce that first name. Codecracker Hound, good free drop with an excellent warp ability. We'll play Uthros. I'll think about Gigastorm. I like Starbreach Whale, mainly because it has a warp cost, and then you can hard cast it. Whether you warp it or hard cast it, you get Surveil 2 when it enters, and then it has a 3/5 flyer. And then I don't know if we have enough artifact synergy to play the Mechan Assembler, so I'm going to set it aside for now. I'm going to look at our black creatures. Definitely look at Sunset Saboteur. Look at Lightless Evangel. Yeah, we'll look at the Skittermaw, Comet Crawler, Swarm Color. Again, I don't know if we have a bunch of enough artifact synergies to justify Grab Blade Heavy, so we'll set him aside for now. I'll definitely look at playing both of those. And then our big Monoist Flyer. All right, so I went ahead and I cut 4 cards: Mental Modulation, Atomic Microsizer, Gigastorm Titan, and Grab Blade Heavy, because I feel like we want to cast more than 2 spells, which I know isn't the black and blue archetype, but we do have some synergies there, and we do have some good void synergies. And I feel with our removal, we will be able to activate void more times than not. So the next thing that I'll do is I'll set aside the blue and blacks that I cut. Now, what's great about Sealed is that if you play your first game and you're like, man, I really wish I had another Mental Modulation, you can sideboard that card in. If you play your first game and you're like, wow, black and blue isn't going to work at all, let's try, black and white. Let's try to change it up altogether and do red and green. You are more than welcome to do that between your games. That's what I love about Sealed, is that even though one deck may look great to you, you get into the games, you start playing, and you realize, okay, this strategy isn't working out. What cards can I sideboard in? What colors can I change up? And you can go into your next game with a completely different deck if you want to. So the next thing I like to do is, if I have time in the deck building process, which I usually do, I go ahead and I sleeve up. I count out how many lands I'm going to need. So in this case, we'll need some islands, we'll need some swamps, and then I like to play some test hands. So let me get this sleeved up and I'll be back with you. All right, so now I got the deck sleeved up. Now you're probably wondering, okay, how many swamps should I run and how many islands should I run? So I'll go ahead and lay out all the black cards like this. And then I'll just start counting up how many black pips do I have, how many blue pips do I have. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 black pips. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 blue pips. So basically, you want to take how many black pips you have, which we had 13, and then divide that number by 2 and then round, whichever way you need to. So we're going to want at least 6 swamps, and then we're going to want at least 5 islands. Now, since we're only running 2 colors, what I would recommend is that you run a 9-8 split. So since we have more swamps, 9 swamps to 8 islands. There may be some really good color fixing here in Edge of Eternities. There's not great color fixing at lower rarities, so we don't have any dual lands that we can play with in this color combination, unfortunately. The next thing I like to do, if I have time, is just to shuffle up and play a couple test hands just to see how the deck will run. This is called Gold Fishing. Let's do the first 7. All right. Not a great hand. Got 2 swamps, 3 islands and 1 swamp. We've got 1 removal spell. We'll keep it. We'll see how it plays out. So I'll just pretend I'm going first. Play a swamp. Pass to my opponent, who immediately passes back to me. Again, no real opponent. We're just test playing here. Play an island. Pass. Comes back to me. Play a swamp. Play out my operative here. Go to my next turn. Play an island. Go ahead and play out my other operative, and then we'll say, so we've, excuse me, I need to be tapping here, don't I? So we tap 2 for him, and then we'll tap 2 for depressurize. And so this says whenever you cast your second spell each turn, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. So let me grab some dice here. So we'll say that's 1. We'll say that's 1. And then we'll go to our next turn. Draw. Play an island for turn. We've got 5 mana available to us. So we'll say we'll pass. We'll say on their turn that we counter their spell. Again, we're just play testing, pretending. We'll go to our next turn, play island. Now we've got 6 mana. We can play out our big guy here. Now it says when he enters until end of turn, target creature you control gets +X/+0, and target creature an opponent controls gets -0/-X, where X is the number of artifacts you control. So right now we only have 1 artifact on the board. If we want to look at our deck, we'll see that we have, including him, we have 1. Yeah, we have 2 artifacts total in our deck. And so at this point, I may say, okay, as great of a card as he is, we're not getting the full effect or taking full advantage of his abilities. So what could we sub in for him? Again, not enough artifacts synergy there, I think, to justify playing him. Really, at this point, our mana curve seems to be low enough that we might be able to get away with playing him. So at the very worst, he's a 5 mana 4/4, or if we cast another spell this turn, he could be a 2 mana 4/4, which would be really nice. I feel like since we're more controlling, I may want to, sub in mental modulation for this guy. So I'll take him out, put in mental modulation, and then I'll go to another test hand. I hope this video inspires you to go to your local game store's next pre-release event or sealed event. Again, some of the best times that I've had playing Magic the Gathering have been during these sealed events. But what made those times the best was getting to meet new people and develop deeper relationships with existing friends. I'll post a link in the show notes to the sealed pool that we opened up through Moxfield. If you want to visit that link and look at the sealed pool that we open up and say, hey, Jeff, I think we would have been better building a black-green deck, or I think we would have been better building a blue-white deck. Please let me know in the comments below what you would have built from the sealed pool that we opened up. Practice makes perfect. The only way that we're going to get better is if we continue to practice in the Goldfish at home. And then I think one of the best ways that we can get better is just to go and play games. Try new things. If you've never tried a sealed event, if all you've ever played is Commander, and it kind of worries you to step out and play sealed or draft or standard or modern or one of those things, just go try it, have a good time. Again, Magic is much more than about the cards. It's about the gathering. I mentioned earlier that Magic the Gathering has been a great hobby for me, especially in relieving my struggles with anxiety and depression. I think hobbies are a great way for people to decompress and focus their energy on something fun and fulfilling. Genuinely, as much as I love this game and find anxiety relief in the game, I've enjoyed even more the new friendships that have been forged. If you struggle with mental health issues, I feel for you, and I hope that you can find someone that is trustworthy and reliable to help you with those issues. If I could share one thing with you, if I could share someone who has been trustworthy to me, someone who has been reliable to me in helping me with my issues of anxiety and depression, that would be Jesus. Again, I told you that I'm a Magic player and I'm a pastor, so please bear with me for a moment. My faith in Jesus has helped me overcome anxiety and depression. My faith in Jesus has helped me to live a fulfilling life by serving Him and helping others. And my faith in Jesus has saved me from my sin. As I release more content, I want to dive deeper into those mental health issues, and I also want to dive deeper into what it means to follow Jesus. But for now, I want to hear from you. What's your favorite way to play Magic? How do you like Edge of Eternities? What tools, tips, and tricks have helped you with your mental health? Let me know in the comments below. My name is Pastor Magic, and thank you so much for watching The Blessed Stack. May you have a blessed day.